Hey guys, Conor Orr here from Sports Illustrated and the MMQB. We just filed Week 11 Power Rankings. Here's a few observations. Let's get through it in less than 5 minutes. The first, there are not a lot of good teams in the NFL this year. I'm talking about like 2, 3, 4, 5 if you want to get generous, but even some of those top 5 teams we don't know a lot about. Like this week, for example, in the top 5 for the first time in I don't even know how long, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Russell Wilson, they get a big win over the Baltimore Ravens, largely in part to a lot of these really cool last-minute decisions made by Mike Tomlin. You call that timeout on the 2-point conversion, throws the Ravens for a loop. They have to reveal their A play, call their B play. It gets blown up at the line of scrimmage, but still, Pittsburgh is unignorable at this point. They are leading the AFC North by a game and a half. They are going to be a favorite kind of barreling in towards the end of this season, so they make their first top 4 appearance. I want to talk a little bit about the Bills, who moved up to number 2 this week. They were able to pressure Patrick Mahomes on 40% of his snaps during that Chiefs game, but they didn't bring a lot of blitzes, right? A lot of 4 pass rusher stuff, and this is what Sean McDermott has been trying to get to for years. Kansas City's been his foil, not necessarily in the regular season, but in the postseason. And Buffalo likes to create that organic pressure. They don't want to send a lot of extra rushers, send a lot of extra blitzes. So that's one of those teams that's really interesting now because they're firing on all cylinders. And this is absolutely the biggest quality win that we've seen in Buffalo all year. I mean, towards the beginning of the season, right, we were talking about how bad that AFC East is. They have that thing locked up. Nobody's coming to get them. But we wanted to see them branch out, beat a couple more teams that are really good and really talented. A couple more teams in the top 10 I want to talk about here. The Vikings got an interesting win over the Titans. It doesn't seem like one that's important on its face, but Sam Darnold had not been good against zone defense at all this year. Titans were the second zone heaviest team in the NFL, and Darnold had a bounce back game, which I think is significant, right? He hit that little bit of a midseason lull, and I think a lot of people were starting to lose faith in him, but Darnold, again, strong bounce back game against a zone heavy team, a surprisingly good Titans defense, which you don't really talk a whole lot about, but we should. Baltimore Ravens down to 7 this week. I think Lamar's got to show me something against some of these premium opponents. He's building this case for an MVP, except when he plays the Chiefs, except when he's in the playoffs, except when he's facing the division rival Steelers. So yeah, certainly that makes me a little bit nervous too. And the Ravens are really struggling the last 2 weeks, 0 for 7 on shots downfield of 20 yards or more, so something to keep an eye on there. The Los Angeles Chargers clock in at number 8, which I think is really fascinating. I mean, this team is just, they're playing tough. They're playing physical. This was a roller coaster win over the Bengals, and I think it's one that's going to propel them forward. I mean, they're firmly entrenched towards the bottom of that AFC playoff race now. One of those wild card spots, they're going to be hard to catch. And the one team I want to talk about a lot here a little bit, number 9, the Green Bay Packers at 7-3. This team is one of the worst red zone scoring teams in the NFL. That's why I think there's so much room for them to grow between now and the end of the season. I am buying low on the Packers, proverbially low, right? And I think that they are going to soar towards the end of the season. I think they're going to hit one of those Jordan Love hot streaks like we got last year. And I think they're going to make it really interesting. Are they going to catch the Lions? No. Are they going to catch the Vikings? I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibility. So check back here next week. We'll run through the power rankings again, and we'll see what happens. I'd like to see more than 2 or 3 good teams in the NFL. Maybe we'll get that.